Peace world, you already know who it is. It's your boy Alchemy Fitness back with another one. So today we'll talk about a macronutrient that's often overlooked and that gets a bad rap, and that is carbohydrates. But before we do, if you're a subscriber or whether it's your first time coming through to my channel, the aim here is to educate, inform, and inspire through the health and wellness for you to become a better version of yourself. So show your boy some LOVE by kindly hitting that like button, comment and subscribe, and even share if you find the information useful. All right. So with carbs, and most coaches or online coaches, whatever, trainers, from my observation, in order for you to get a quick result, right, or to lose fat, some would cut carbs totally out of your diet. Why? Because it will drop the weight quicker. Me, I don't like to do that. I like to, yes, put you in a caloric deficit, but I still give my clients carbs to eat. And with everything, there's a good and bad, right? So there are what happens with carbohydrates, they're good and bad carbs. And I'll talk about that today. But before we do, I'll talk about the benefits of carbs and why you need it, okay? Pardon me if I look down because I have to have my notes because I'll end up rambling. I'm trying to be structured. All right. So one, carbohydrates is a great energy source, right? It's the body's preferred and quickest source of energy, right? Not only that, it breaks down into glucose, which fuels your muscle, brain, and other vital organs. So this is why I don't like to cut it, because it's about sustaining the long term for you, all right, with a healthy relationship with food. Okay. So number two is support brain function. You ever heard the term, oh, you got bodybuilder's brain? Or they say you're not yourself. Well, when you're not yourself when you're hungry, like the Snicker commercials, because they have carbohydrates. So they get cranky and irritable and everything like that. So what it does, your body relies on the glucose to function properly. So low carbohydrate diet. So when you're in a state of low carbs, it gives you what's called brain fog and poor concentration, and you're fatigued quicker. All right. So those are things that you'd have to notice that in yourself too. If you're irritable, you're probably hungry. Like, damn, what's going on? Let me eat a piece of candy or something sugary to give you a spike, right? But we'll talk more about that. Three, it aids in muscle recovery, right? So carbs help replenish glycogen stores in muscles, speeding up recovery and preparing your body for the next workout. All right, that's why some people they look full, like when they work out, after they eat and stuff like that, they look more dense, kind of more solid, because that's because of the carbohydrate, right? And not only that, with carbs, point number four, it supports digestive health, because what carbs have, like vegetables and fruits, it have fiber. And in my previous video, we talked about the importance of gut health. So this is another reason why I don't like to take out carbs out your diet. You see what I'm saying? Because that type of that type of carbohydrate, fiber, it obviously helps in regulation and prevents constipation and supports a healthy gut biome. And we know that your gut and mind or brain is connected. So you see how everything now is like coming together. It's like a puzzle. See? Number five, it helps regulate blood sugar. Right? But I'm gonna go into the little later. I'm gonna go into the difference of how and why, which type of carbs help regulate blood sugar, and that's more the complex. But I'll talk about that more. All right. So what it does, it breaks down. It breaks down and provides a slow, steady release of glucose into your bloodstream, so your energy will last. And you won't get that quick crash. All right. So that's the difference between the good and bad carbs we're going to talk about. And number six, it spares protein for muscle repair. When you have enough carbs, your body will burn that instead of protein. Because remember, protein is there to build muscle. So if you want to have that strong look and serve and preserve your muscle, you have to have carbs. That's why with like bodybuilders, they go into low carb and to look more shredded. But remember too, when doing that, it's for a season. Those are like the 1% of 1%. But for the everyday man and woman who just trying to look lean, they'll drop the carbs a little bit, but not too much. They can't stay lean all year round. I will recommend that, because we're like after nature. You're going to hold on to some things during the winter months fall and winter, and then in spring you start to shed. All right. So if you're gonna stay lean all year, I don't recommend that. You know, you want to, if it's lean, you go up a little bit in a caloric surplus. So in that process too, you're healing your body. All right. So always think about like that too. Don't try to be under 5% oil. That's not healthy. I wouldn't recommend that. You know, and if you're a guy, your partner wouldn't recommend that either. 7, it boosts your mood, right? It releases serotonin. You know, that feel good feeling when you eat, that's what it does. So this is why it's very important, all right? So it improve your even your attitude and help you become more relaxed. All right, so those are 7 benefits of carbohydrates. So now we're gonna go into where you have good carbs and bad carbs. And this is why it has a bad rap with it, okay? So we're gonna start with the good, right? Always give good news first. So everything is not created equal. Not all carbs are created equal. So like proteins and fats as well. But with the good carbs, right? These are what you'll call like the complex carbs. That's after nature, right? So let me keep that in mind. Good carbs, complex, they're after nature, right? So this will give your body lasting energy, supports recovery, and keep blood sugar stables. An example of that would be like sweet potato oats, like quinoa, whole grains, and whole wheat bread, right? whole wheat bread and whole grains, things of that nature, fruits and veggies and beans and legumes, right? So once you swap those out into your diet, you'll see the difference in the transformation, right? The bad carbs, right, are simple carbohydrates, right? Simple or refined. They're in a factory. So that's how you tell the difference. If it's good carbs, it's after nature. Bad carbs is that it made in a factory. It's made in a factory. So that's how you'll differentiate the two. These will give you the burst of energy and that crazy crash after you feel sluggish, like that, like them energy drinks. Those not good. Candy, sugary drinks. And this is why carbs get a bad name, because it's those type of carbohydrates that we consume that put on that type of fat that we don't want. And in combination with a sedentary lifestyle is not very healthy. All right. So those will be like your white bread, white pasta, pastry, cakes, cookies. I have a sweet tooth, so I have to like dial back sometimes too. And even as I again up there in age, I ain't tell my age, but I take back. I slow down off of those type of things. You know what I mean? Plus, I ain't trying to have no dentures, no kind of crazy stuff at my age. I'm, talking to a young lady, my teeth falling out. That's not sexy. You know what I mean? So chips, but not saying you can't have those things. Enjoy yourself, but be wise. Use your discretion. All right? So that's basically it between the carbs, the good and bad. So I hope this video was good for you and that you understand now the difference. So like I said, I program carbs in my clients' diets because it's also about not just for them to get a quicker results or give them a crash diet. And as soon as they eat something, they build right back up. And I'm like, yo, Tristan, what happened? Well, I got on this weight. I've seen it happen, like with family members, other clients from afar and close. I like to do it after nature, do it the right way, so it's sustainable, so you can continue for a lifetime. You see what I'm saying? So it's not as complicated as we make it sometimes. Just be patient with yourself and you're gonna get the results that you need, okay? If you need help with that, with macronutrient coaching, just click the link in below, set up a consultation with me, and let's see if we're a good fit, and I'll be glad to help you, all right? Thank you for lending me your ears. Alchemy Fitness, signing off. We'll transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Peace.